Welcome to another live. It's too cool to come with none other than Reek, the master of ceremony, and hopefully we can get some people chiming in on this particular topic of misinformation. Do you know, and how do you handle it? A lot of people don't know how to handle information that is, you know, littered with lies and things that, are far from the truth. But then again, you have others that can handle it well and swell and know how to, disseminate the unnecessary from what is actually, you know, beneficiary. So with that being said, I see we have people falling in here. I know that I sent out so many direct messages to people to let them know that I was actually going live. And the brother time traveler, he's like, you know what, Rick, that needs to be a topic because I had posted something in the affirmations, and we find this a lot within the melanated community. Where they try to tell us and sell us on certain things, and come to find out later on down the road that they sold us a bag of goods that were no good. So with that being said, what different areas have you been sold something that didn't turn out to be necessarily all the way true? It's almost like I was speaking with, once again, time traveler, and he said, I was telling him about the Spike Lee movie Malcolm X, and when he was speaking with Elijah Muhammad, he said, well, if you give them this glass that's full of ink and they don't have any alternative, they'll drink it. Well, essentially, that's what they're giving us within the melanated community. They try to paint us as the desperado of damn near every situation you can imagine. And a lot of our own people that share melanin pigmentation tend to believe it, tend to throw their own under the bus because they don't want to be the ones bearing such things. Almost essentially the crabs in a barrel syndrome. We got a lot of that going on. So if you can throw your counterpart off so you can just grab a few more crumbs, so many are falling victim to doing that. But I will open up the hotline if we get enough people falling in here and wanting to weigh in on a particular chosen topic, because usually when I do lives they're freestyles, but I figured this is one that the times that we're living in and the amount of propaganda that's hitting our airwaves and hitting our cell phone devices and tablets, and you can even say gaming consoles and fire sticks and things of that matter. We're bombarded with it every day. You go out when you got to get essential needs that you need for your home front. You even bombarded with it in that space wherever you travel to and choose to spend your hard-earned dollar. And I appreciate the people that have lended the thumbs up for the particular live stream. I appreciate that. I would appreciate it more if you are able to, speak on the particular topic at hand. If not, I know some people may be essential workers and may still be at the job site where they can't really, take too much of their time to type or something like that, and that's understandable. So I'm still here just waiting to see if people will be able to pop in. Let me I want to check something real quick. All right. So the topic at hand, what do you have to add? Misinformation. A lot of people ain't even versed in misinformation. They think, oh well, All what they're giving us, if they were giving it to the mass public, it got to be true. Or you're hearing something from someone that you done dealt with, and probably y'all made money in some way, shape, or form. You think they're giving you the gospel, and that doesn't always have to be true. Matter of fact, I experienced that this weekend where I was about to make some money with someone, and then maybe a couple days later, someone called them on another situation where I was gonna do a deal of some kind, and they was talking down on my name. So that lets you know it's some backstabbers out there, even though they smile in your face and can actually get bread with you. That's how it be sometimes. No, I won't even say sometimes, a lot of times. Okay, you said, Lisa Smith, you said if you're getting your information from the news, you're getting misinformation, most definitely. And I'll say this, I know a lot of people say, you know what, you shouldn't even watch the news. I'll say it like this: you shouldn't watch it like, how can I explain? Like, you watch it, but don't watch it to see, to get offended. Some people watch it to get offended in the aspect, oh no, this person, essentially where it's triggering you. You want to watch just enough of it to see what lies that they're telling, so then you can go ahead and, okay, they're doing this, I'm not doing any of that, and then I'm gonna go research what they don't want you to know about. Take it from that aspect. That's where, to me, you'll gain more clarity, and it'll steer you in a direction of what you really need to know, not what they're telling you. Okay, and this professional person that we're talking with at essentially the news program or newsroom hired to come speak to drive their narrative. You got to think about this. A lot of those people that they have on, they're hired people. They hire them, and it's like, okay, we got this particular narrative. You got to stick within these lines and these guidelines to push to the public whatever we're trying to drive. A lot of people don't know that. What's going on, Cadillac J Just? Yeah, it is a crazy thing. And how I look at it, I know so much about news media because I actually got someone on the inside that works for I'll say Fox News. They work for Fox News, and they give me a lot of play-by-plays that the general public doesn't really, they're not really versed on. And to me, that's beneficial. And their views too much, they're kind of skewed because they work for the company, so they got to believe in whatever protocol that they're putting out. But from behind the scenes, this person is totally. Think about, like, when you watch Fox News, you see some of those anchors, and they're coming off a certain way, but behind the scenes, if you really knew how they was coming off and getting down, you be like, they can't be a part of this, because how they really act behind the scenes doesn't coincide with how they're acting essentially in the streets. But in a lot of cases they say it's a career, when in reality it's just a job to them. Okay, Lisa, you said, "What's up, Cadillac?" And Cadillac, you said, "Hey, Lisa, boo, hell no." Hey, Cadillac, let me ask you something. The last when you came in on when you came in on Rated Shot and the infamous Lisa Smith's takeover of Too Cool to Con, what kind of cocktail did you have? Because I was getting a sense, I'm like, man, Cadillac J just must have had some kind of cocktail, because tonight he's in rare form. I ain't never, I was a listener that night, so I was just kick back listening, like, okay, Cadillac is must have some type of cocktail right along with Rated Shot. He always had the vodka cocktail going on. I don't usually know you to partake in cocktails, Cadillac J Just. So what particular cocktail, if you had one that particular night, what was it? DeWitt Smith. Information is power. Knowledge put into practice leads to wisdom. So keep people in a submissive state. You have control. What you wait a minute. What you are releasing to them, most definitely. You said that vodka. Oh, you said you don't drink like that. Hey, that's no problem. That's no problem. I mean, you still handle yourself. You know. I could kind of detect them like them had something, but most definitely I think and that's what they do on a lot of these, not just news media outlets, but a lot of these platforms that you find on this platform, different channels, shall I say, they practice. It's like they all read from a certain script, and I know this because they came to me about reading from scripts, and I don't serve the people nothing that's gonna hurt them or put them in a position where they may have time taken away and put away essentially in the living dead jail cell and away from their family. I'm gonna try to give you the most authentic, useful information that you can use, and if not, I'll lead you down routes like, okay, well, I may not have the answer. This particular area or this particular person may, depending on what you're seeking. But a lot of people, they read from the script. They'll give you some things that are comical enough to, kind of draw you in. It's like, oh, I got to draw the masses in, okay? They got all the notifications going out to the people because they know how I'm about to operate it, how I'm about to, put down this essentially like they're a magician or a hypnotist or something like that. And then they start dropping in the things that are not beneficial to you, along with some tidbits that can be beneficial to you. So that is ultimately what leads to misinformation. You're mixing in that good with the bad, and then once someone tries to challenge it, then they're like, oh, this person, they'll go to the stock standards. Oh, this person is a hater. Why are they a hater? Why don't you go into the area what they're, making accusations or accusing you of, or saying that you're not doing, to, essentially prove them wrong and shut them up. And I know in a lot of areas you can't do that, because some people, even if you give them all the information, they still are going to be stuck on, okay, you said this, but that don't mean anything. No, research it. Matter of fact, have an open dialogue with the person that you're having issues with. So then you can see if a person is dodging the questions, or really living up to whatever they profess. And like, what? I am gonna research that. You done said it. Now why don't you research this to make sure we're both on one accord, or you're seeing how I'm seeing. Hopefully, we can kind of have some middle ground. You said cousin works for the news and they give her a script. Most definitely it's a script. A lot of people don't know, like, think if you have anybody that's, in law enforcement or anything like that, is roll call, and it's like they all meet in the morning, and, they tackle how they're going to tackle their day. If they're running raids, or if they're, they got to tackle a certain area that, they say they're having problems in. They're all meeting in powwowing, essentially. Well, that's essentially what a lot of the news teams do. It's like, okay, the city hall is trying to do something in this particular area. We got to focus on these different things. Go and get these stories to, put together, so you can have so many stories put together on, whatever is affecting the community, or we want drawn attention to. They do the same thing every morning. They have police scanners to see what's going on, if it's something up to date going on, so they can hit the scene immediately. That's why you're like, oh, why's the news crew on the scene already? Because they either got an inside with law enforcement, because essentially it's like they work for them, because they're always in dialogue. Okay, when are we gonna have this press conference to, to divulge to the public, or we do got some information. It ain't gonna hit the news until certain things happen. Then it's gonna hit the news, because we're working in coordinates with you, about whatever is gonna happen. What's going on, Reddit shot family? Let's see. He said, I don't think I'm getting a check, but I don't think I want one. Yeah, the checks are coming. Matter of fact, that was another topic I was going to tackle about the stimulus checks. The checks are coming, but to me, it's like they put it out here. Okay, the checks are coming, and people are looking for it to come immediately. But it's like they got how can I say it? They got a time frame. Like it's going to start from this date all the way so many months out. So think about if you done had cable before, like, we're coming out from 1 to 5, so you're expecting them to come at 1, but essentially they're gonna probably come somewhere closer to 5, so like 4:45 or something like that. But you all geeked up and think, oh, they're gonna have my internet or everything handled at 1, so you waiting around, but they don't come to damn near the later time. That's the same way that they're going with these stimulus checks. So you gotta take it from that particular type of aspect to understand it. But with that being said, let me try to throw up the hotline number, and hopefully if any of y'all want to call in, can make that actually happen. Let me get the other device so I can put that up there, and hopefully we can get someone calling. And let me know if because I know sometimes people try to call in and it's not letting them come in. Let me know if it's playing games where you can't actually call in, so then we could hopefully handle it a different way. I'm just multitasking right now, throwing up the hotline number, so those that actually want to place a call and voice their opinion on what they want to voice their opinion on can do so. I don't duck calls, I take calls. Just don't be on no ignorance that ain't beneficial to the people, because I allow the hotline to be open for you, the people. It ain't for me, it's for you, the people, to pass on different information that people don't know about. And with that being said, the hotline is posted. Hey, I'll take your call. Hopefully we can drive this conversation in a different direction, that it's whatever direction it'll go. I see you got a new icon, Shy. I can't really tell what it is. I'm gonna have to go look later and see what you got posted on there. Let me see. You said this dude. Oh, okay. You said this dude from Do the Right Thing, Radio Raheem. Okay. At first, when you said this dude from Do the Right Thing, it made me think of what's the slow guy. But I know Shy wouldn't have a slow guy. But I was just having this conversation about the slow brother that was in Do the Right Thing. Like, I can't even do him. I'll mess up. But essentially, that's what came to mind when you had said that. You said that, Lisa Smith. Let's see. So the hotline is open. If you don't see it, scroll down. You'll see Tuku the crown, and it'll say hotline is open, and then it'll give the said number. You hit them digits. Hopefully they don't play, because sometimes it'll just straight send it to busy mode where you can't call in. I don't know why, but it does that. Okay, here we go. Cadillac J Just. What up, J Just?
Yo, Rick, what's up with you?
Nothing much, nothing much. What say you?
Man, I'm just cooling out, riding around. Yeah, man, they talking about the stimulus check. I see people on Facebook arguing about it. Some people say it's enough, some people say it's not enough. And I'm just looking around like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get one or not, but I know I'm being nice to a couple, a couple of my lady friends that's getting theirs, though.
Yeah, that makes sense,
But what would make people be so argumentative about it, because I don't really get it. Like, you know, you got the single mothers that saying they need it, then you got the other people saying if you got child support or something, you won't get it. Like, it's a whole bunch of.
Well, I also heard about that. The people that owe child support, they won't get it. So, you know, that's kind of messed up in a lot of cases, because I think that could help a lot of brothers that's already probably struggling out here. With them getting their checks garnished and things like that. But as far as arguing about it, think about it like this: people think when they think they're right about something, people get mad because some people get mad. I don't get mad if I know I'm right about something. Like, you go ahead and be angry about that. I know, but a lot of people, they want to, especially if they got a lot of, you said on Facebook, a lot of people's looking at whatever they're posting. Like, man, I don't want people to think I look dumb on here talking about whatever. No, I'm right about this or whatever. But like I said, they're starting it from one time all the way up to so many months that it'll be going out. And I want to say, depends on how you got your last year's taxes. So if you got direct deposit, it'll go in your direct deposit. If you got a check or whatever, it'll be sent out, whatever your last address that you posted. So hopefully, you ain't changed addresses, because I want to say they got a number where you have to call and figure that out. Like, I done moved, or whatever, if you haven't updated that yet. So.
You think we're gonna have to? You think they're gonna have to like pay it back? You think it's a scheme? They're gonna have to make sure somehow they're gonna get it back from you?
Well, how they've been saying, you don't have to pay it back. I look at it at these stimulus checks just like when Bush gave a check. We didn't have to pay that back. I mean, it wasn't as much as what they're giving now, but you still didn't have to pay that back. And I know in the state of Minnesota, we had a surplus in the state, and they gave the people back, so much money, and we didn't have to pay that back. So I'm thinking it's along that same lines, because they would have been came out like, you know what, you're getting this, but you may have to pay it back. But look at it like this: you're gonna pay it back in like inflation. We see all this cheap gas and all this, but stuff is gonna start going up higher and things like that. So you're gonna pay it back like that, just like when we had gas all throughout the country back in 08, when it was going real high and things like that. So we're gonna start seeing the cost of certain things rise way higher than what we're usually normally seeing it. So in that case, yeah, but not in the other case where, yeah, you took this money, now you gotta pay it back.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, so Rick, at the very beginning, I missed the very beginning, but you said you was doing a deal or something. Somebody was talking down on your name.
Yeah, matter of fact, like I said, it was a family member, kind of a distant family member, but he wanted to buy, I had some stereo equipment, and he was saying, you know what, I want this, and he knows I come across that kind of stuff. So I'm like, cool, let me go seek it out, and I did. So I got it, and he's like, well, I don't want it. I'm like, okay, I done went all around the world, and you find every excuse why you don't want to buy it. It's some quality stuff. I only sell quality, no junk. So I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I get to talking with this person's brother, and his brother's he was thinking about buying a car from me, and I could hear, how people call people and they put them on speaker, but they don't know you're around. I'm like, I wouldn't buy that. And I'm like, okay, now you trying to throw salt in my deal that don't even involve you, but you talking with them, but you just want to salt my deal down. I mean, that ain't cool.
Yeah, I can't stand when people do that.
Right.
That's bad all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Is that hating? That's hating, though, right?
Yeah, that is hating. That is hating, because you're witnessing it. They're witnessing. Like, you hear your brother? I mean, I know you don't want to say nothing to him right on the spot, saying that, you got me on, right around you, but come on now.
So you wouldn't do business with them no more anyway?
No, because they done proved to me how they move, It's like, oh, no, I know you get good stuff. Okay, if you know I get good stuff, it shouldn't be no problem where we start playing games once I get it, If that was the case, you didn't even have to seek me out, you know what I'm saying?
I had an issue like that, and I shut everybody down. I quit messing with everybody, so I just wanted to ask your opinion, make sure I wasn't tripping.
No, you ain't tripping at all, And you can't be wrong for that. Now, I guess if you go out and say, yeah, he did me like this, you start broadcasting. I mean, that's being extra with it, even though you're right. But you just like, okay, duly noted. You don't wanna, really be about what you say you about. That's cool. I just won't give you the opportunity when I run across deals like that. You know?
I kind of did mine duly noted. I ain't even say nothing to nobody. Ain't no need.
Right.
But yeah, I just wanted your opinion on that real quick. You know me, man. I be in and out of it, man. Tell everybody I said what's up.
Right. Well, you on the line, they hear you. Everybody hear you on the replay and everything. So
Y'all log into that Patreon. I tried to log in. I need to get with you. I'm gonna call you offline about that.
okay.
I think I'm logged in. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right. Yeah, I got it. I got the information once you send what you sent through it. It came through. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. I'm back at the house now. Yeah, I had a shot the other night though, and cussed old girl out and everything. Man, I'm tripping.
Damn. Yeah, because I noticed you dropped off. They was like, "Hey, Cadillac." I was like, "Oh, he must have had to handle something real quick. He had to jump off the line." But you always jump off the line. You save your piece and then you cut out. But you keep it in 100 like that. So that's what's up.
But yeah, I'm gonna hit you offline, man. I'm gonna walk back in here. I might start an argument tonight. I don't know.
What you trying to get out somewhere else to start an argument or something like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to get across town real quick, man. But we still got that curfew, so I might just chill. I don't know.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to mess with the people because they out and about too.
Yeah. Be careful in whichever way you do whatever you do.
All right, well, I'll definitely get y'all back. I'm going to tune back into it.
All right. That's what's up.
All right.
Still. And there you have had it. You done heard Cadillac J. Just, he done spoke his piece on it. Hey, the hotline is up. You can call in just like Cadillac J. Just, took the time to call in, spoke his piece, and cut out. You could do the same. And if not, it doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't have to be about the particular topic. I kind of just voice my opinion on misinformation, but it could be about whatever's within the chat and you want to talk about, whatever is on your mind you want to talk about. It could be that. Usually I try to lead off with at least one topic, and then we could go into whatever you want to talk about. And how I see we don't have someone that disliked it. So how can you dislike something unless you're about the other part of it? And when I say the other part, because essentially it's titled misinformation. Some people, I guess, like giving misinformation. So, I guess with that thumbs down, it's like, you know what? We don't like that he's, trying to wake up brothers, others. Because it don't have to be brothers, other sisters. It could be, whoever that needs to be awake. Oh, you said, Lisa Smith, you said that lone hater is back. Yeah. I guess everybody got to have that hater in a bunch. Someone that's either been kicked off or, been accused of being a blatant liar, and they had to be, exterminated, at least from this platform. But that's all right. That just lets me know they're still watching. They're a fan. How you say, Rated Shot, we still got a view, even though you counted it as a thumbs down. I still got my view, so that's cool. But other than that, what say y'all? Who's all still out there besides the long ranging hater, the Mighty Morphin hater? And if not, we can cut it short. I don't like to, if nobody really got nothing to voice, because like I said, that's what I do my lives for now. If I do, a video, I actually got, bullet points that I'm gonna talk about within the video. But really, this is for the people, for calling in, for, Rick, I feel this, or, I got this particular way I was thinking about it. What say you? It's an actual conversation, dialogue, not a lecture. I don't do lectures. To me, it's like, okay, I'm not trying to play nobody's parent and tell them what they need to do. I don't want to do that. I want to point you in the direction of information and intelligence that you can actually use. You know, and maybe the person, maybe it might have been one of my family members that was listening to this. They might have got offended to what I said, but it's the truth. You know, don't have me going to look for certain things that you want, and then once I get it, you want to act funny and not want to purchase it when you the one that made the big old spiel about what you wanted. Okay, Lisa Smith, you said, so Rick, you like cars. What is a faster car? A 90 Corvette or a 95 Camaro Z28? A 90 Corvette, well, I'll say it like this. It depends on what type of Corvette. Because if it's a 90 Corvette that's a ZR1, then I would say the 90 Corvette that's a ZR1, that's essentially the top model of Corvettes in 90. But if it's the base model Corvette and it's a 95 Z28, the Z28 will eat the Corvette all day. And a lot of people are like, how can a Camaro eat a Corvette? Well, if you check the baseline of the horsepower and the torque for a 90 Corvette, it is not doing nothing on comparison. Matter of fact, I got a 96 Z28 that will eat a lot of, I guess older Corvettes that, a lot of people think would be faster than, a Camaro, shall I say. Because matter of fact, the Z28 that's 96 is a LT1 motor in it. That's the top vet engine that came in the top vets of that era. So yeah, if that answers your question, hopefully it does. Who else has any comments? You still there, ready shot? Let me see. They ain't even let me scroll back to see all of the comments. Well, anyways, I appreciate all that have came in here. Matter of fact, that might be the one for tomorrow night. I might speak on, the stimulus checks and, how different people are reacting off it. I mean, I kind of covered it a little bit with Cadillac J Just, and how people are just now they're counting on the money. It's like when you tell someone you're gonna borrow some money and say like, yeah, I'll borrow you 5 racks, and you haven't did it yet. Don't you know they're gonna, depending on how desperate they are for and hard up for money, they're always gonna be hounding you about that, and you were essentially extending yourself out as a courtesy. But that just lets you know how that's another form of how they can, you know, manipulate and have the public gone off, you know, even though it's not a lot, but it is a lot in a lot of cases that you can use on these, bills, since they got a lot of things within uh, the United States and abroad shut down. So I don't know. Just I say do the best you can. Don't count too heavily on things, even though you may be looking at them bills like, man, these bills is piling up. They done cut my hours, or they done furloughed me from my gig and things like that. When am I gonna do? I may not have a lot of savings and things. I might be running through my savings, but you think about it, with everything shut down, they ain't gonna know going to the bar. The only thing that a lot of people may be doing is going to grocery stores, getting all the little things they like to eat, hitting the liquor store and getting the things they like to drink, and then going back to the TP to chill and post up and do what they do there. Maybe occasionally go gambling at some of they people's spots and things like that, to try to I mean, if you're into that, shall I say, because even the casinos and things like that are shut down. Can't even really gamble how you want to gamble and have fun and things like that. What's going on, Tony Styles? What's up with you? Now, Lisa Smith, you said, so a 95 Impala would beat a Corvette. A 95 Impala beating a Corvette. I'll say, like I said, if it's a base model Corvette, like you said, a 90 versus a SS Impala from like 94 to 96, yes, the Impala will beat the actual Corvette. Maybe not so much off the jump, but once you get going down the road, yeah, the Impala will pass it. Most definitely. You chilling? Okay. So, like I said, anybody that wants to call in that hasn't even called in before, hit the hotline. Hopefully, you ain't too intoxicated where you can't make out certain your points, and you're slurring your words. I know a lot of times if you got all this, you like, I ain't got to go to work. I might as well act like it's Friday or Saturday and have me a cocktail and everything like that. If you're gonna call in, at least be sure you're gonna be somewhat sharp and a little bit on point. That's all I ask. I don't want you to hear yourself on replay like, man, I was drunk off my ass when I called in the rig. I don't want to be like that no more. I don't want to be stuck on the replay like that. And I respect that if you don't call for that reason. What's going on, Lo? I'm glad that you came up in here. But yeah, I started this particular live off with misinformation and how it plagues the melanated community that we find ourselves within. Really, all communities, but it seems like it hits ours a little bit more. They like to feed us certain information that they want us to know, not what we actually need to know. And sometimes it comes from people that shares melanin pigmentation just like yourself. It's like when people start getting mad and upset when you start asking them simple questions, simplistic questions. They start getting upset and things like that. That leads me to believe that they're not versed and they don't even know any areas to direct you in to kind of put you on the path that you are searching for. At least if I don't know something, I'm gonna try to place you in the pathway that is beneficial to you. Not get mad and upset and try to turn it around on you because you don't brought something to my attention that I'm not versed in. That ain't that isn't what is beneficial to a person that's trying to seek out information that will help them on their sojourn. You know, but a lot of people do get upset about that. Me myself, I'm not one of them. So, so how's everyone's night going tonight, though? Besides that, since I don't really got a topic, but I see y'all's taking the time to weigh in, and I appreciate y'all for coming in and lending your ear to the little bit I did have to say. Matter of fact, within the actual description of this live, like I said on other things I done voiced that I finally joined the Cash App. I got that information of two Kudakan, $2 Kudakan in the description. So if whatever you feel, you're like, Reek, I want to reach out to you that way. Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, I checked out that video that you sent. Matter of fact, someone else sent me the same video too. It's like the same video, right? You sent it, and then I got it sent again. That's that video is deep. Matter of fact, I want to say I can't remember which post that was, but people should be able to go in whatever links are within the community section where I post affirmations and you guys converse with me back and forth. Y'all can go back through there and check it out for yourself if they haven't pulled that actual video down. I think it's something that more people need to see and be you know you always can use information. Even if you may know one particular area, it might be something within that particular video, or be it some type of read or something like that that you can actually use. You said nothing was editing some photos I took today. Oh yeah, man, I haven't did any. Well, let me take that back. I was gonna say I haven't did any photo editing in a while, but yeah, I did. The last editing I did was for the Lions Den. Matter of fact, come this Friday, I have, it should be close to an hour of conversation between me and Professor Ken, and I think you'll find it beneficial. I know a lot of people be like, Reek, y'all do various amounts of times when y'all talking on the Lions Den, but this one's damn near an hour, and it's covering a lot of areas that some people may not be versed in, and I think it will be a beneficial Lions Den. And as soon as I post it, hey, whenever you get the time to watch it, you know, set aside some time and become versed in some information that you may not be too well versed within. I see we have 6 people in the room. Shall I say? It flickers from every now and then. It's like I don't even know if that's the amount. It's like you think about it, I watch a lot of different people's lives and things like that. And it's like, how do they go about, okay, this many people get the notifications, but we're not going to give the notifications to all these other amounts. It's to me, it's like it'll drive too much conversation, and they don't want conversation. They want people on there for, you know, little spurts of time. Because I've noticed when they first came with the live streaming, they used to let a lot more people in here, but it's like, okay, we got to curtail it down a little bit because the people that actually interact with people, that'll get them to come back more. But if we don't really like their channel, we're gonna kind of, throw the crop circles in there, or have them have a Wi-Fi disconnection of some type. So there's a lot of different ploys that they enact to try to steer you away from people that can actually be beneficial within your sojourn. Hey, it's most definitely nothing wrong with writing a book. I always, hey, if you have something to, impart to the people and you want to impart to them within a massive type level, hey, do that. Matter of fact, you could do an audio book. You could, create an audio file and post that up on different platforms that will sell it, and it's honest money, it's honest accounts. Well, you could be doing something that's fiction too, that's relatable, but not true life, but mostly nonfiction, something that people can hear your story. It's nothing wrong with that, and like I said, it's an honest dollar. Hear my story, hear this, or I got a self-help book, or I'm into photography. If you want to get into photography, hey, these are the steps. This is the way you need to set up your particular DSLR camera or mirrorless camera, or whatever you're working with, whatever type of medium that you're working with. You can do that too, and it's all honest money, and it's actually helping people. I applaud people that do that, that write books. It's another way of turning an honest dollar. Yeah, you said time is all you have right now. Most definitely, time is what a lot of people have, and most definitely, every time we wake up is a gift. So you gotta actually put your gift into play every day. Even though you can't do this. No, I'm gonna do something productive with my life. The Most High gave me breath again to tackle this day, and I'm gonna try to be useful with my gift, not useless. Useful, not useless. All we got is right now. Just think about people that I look at it like this. It may be people that listen to my channel and they were faithful listeners. Some people might have passed away, and that's why you haven't heard from them. I don't had I'm on other social media platforms, and I'm like, man, I used to converse with this one person, and then you kind of have someone kind of in common, like, well, man, what happened to this person? Oh man, they passed away. They done had a stroke or something like that, or that young brother done had a heart attack or something, or some foul play came and he didn't know his lady was moving a certain way. He ended up getting gunned down or something like that. Things like this happen every day, so you gotta take the time that you are given and put it to actual use. I know a lot of people say, I'm putting my life to use, and be teeing off. No, this is we got a lot of downtime where there's a lot of self-reflection that is going on and being had, and you need to you know make the best out of it. Actually, Time Traveler Radio, what's going on with you, man? I'm glad you done found your way within the actual live stream. Matter of fact, if you're able to scroll all the way to wherever I posted the hotline number, hit the hotline. Any of y'all, I could put y'all on a party line call so everybody could be up on it. So one person calling, another person calling, y'all could both converse and everything. That's how we do on Too Cool to Con. It's about having actual conversations that's actually beneficial to the actual melanated mind and others. And I'll say this, for the brothers that have child support and ain't getting no check, well, hopefully, this downtime, you're thinking about another way of putting some of this revenue together to put you in a better position, shall I say, even though they got the hooks and clamps on your revenue in certain ways. You may have to create a kind of business where you're underground with it, and you get some supplementary dollar bills that way, since they're trying to put the clamps on you, in a way where it's stopping you from doing whatever you think you're trying to do and accomplish. That's almost like a slap in the face. Like, yeah, we got this stimulus check going out to people, and then the ones that really need it in them type of situations, like, nope, y'all's not getting it. So y'all don't even have to worry about it. Let me see. But if nobody has nothing else to say or add, I will go out. I'll probably, like I said, I may come with that the stimulus check situation type of live stream where we could conversate on that maybe tomorrow. Hey, I enjoyed y'all so far. Everybody that's entered in the actual live. Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, and I do have a Patreon. I didn't put that information in the description, but I have a Patreon now too. If you want to become a Patreon, I actually have some older videos over in Patreon that you actually have to become a supporter in there to see that. You won't see them on YouTube. There's a lot of content that's over on my Patreon that you will not see when it comes to YouTube. I just have to make it like that, since we have people that don't operate from the higher self. They operate from the lower self. So and to all my Patreon supporters that are within here, this particular live, hey, I appreciate you. The people that's catching the actual replay that are the Patreon supporters, I appreciate you too. If you want to become a patron supporter of Too Cool to Con, hey, it's still spelled the same way. You go to Patreon and you type in Too Cool to Con, capital T, double O, capital C, double O, L, number 2, K, H-A-N. You type that in, you'll find the King Tut, the boy King, and there you go. Become a subscriber. Or a supporter of it. It'll be content over there that probably hasn't been seen for years, or some of the newbies probably never seen it. So, and I'll include links, just like I include links on YouTube, but a little more things that I may get flagged on this particular platform, versus if I'm doing it over there, I have a little bit more freedom to do what I do. So become a Patreon supporter of Too Cool to Con, a Cash App Too Cool to Con. Because how I look at it, they have, what is that? Because we're on a live now and people can donate, but it's like YouTube or Google gets their cut, and they split up. They get their cut, and they didn't even weigh in on a conversation or anything. All they did was provide the space for the platform. But those particular mediums, they go directly to the proprietor of Tukudakan, and it'll be used wisely. Yeah, they say Google gets 30%, but I've come to find it's like 45%, you know. Matter of fact, I don't really, when people were doing that, I wasn't really seeing, you know, any of that revenue. Matter of fact, I got videos. Matter of fact, if y'all remember, I did a live called Karma. Now, a lot of my videos get scrutinized, but that particular one, that's doing crazy numbers like now. Like if you see a lot of my lives that I do, it'll be like 100, 200. But this one is like reaching towards 200,000. Now, I don't know what I said in that particular one, but it's reaching towards 200,000 views. You know, I mean, it got some downs on it, but it also got some likes. So I don't know. Maybe it's one that slipped through the cracks of them trying to, you know, scrutinize. But, you know, hopefully more of the content will be able to, you know, do numbers like that. But to avoid the scrutinize, you know, how they scrutinize, become a supporter of the Patreon, and you know, you'll get content over there that hopefully it won't skip or anything like that, or I can even watch it. No, all the links over there work, and you only get them if you're a supporter of it. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all hitting the like button up on it. You said, oh damn, they probably updated it. Yeah, I think they have, you know. I guess because, you know, so many people were getting paid on it. Oh, what's going on, channel of Choice? Choice done fell up in here. What's going on with your Choice? You know, I was about to fall up out of here, but, you know, some of the regulars done made their way into the chat room. So, you know, like I said, I know a lot of y'all could be on the job site. Some of y'all might got downtime. Some of y'all may be having cocktails where you may be slurring your words a little bit, you know, and you don't want to call in because you might come off, you know, a way that you don't want to hear yourself on a replay, because I keep the replays up when everybody, you know, I don't do it purposely when you're messing up. That's why I try to tell you, hey, don't call in unless you feel you're really on point, because I know you don't want to hear yourself when you wasn't on point. Oh, you said you be catching the replays? Well, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know. You know, if you're an essential worker, then you gotta get that essential work in, you know. And when you got that downtime to catch two coup de con or whatever thing that meets your fancy to catch it, hey, that's what you gotta do, you know. Especially when you got mouths to feed, you know, your own mouth and things like that. You gotta handle all that first. Handle self first. Because a lot of people put themselves in positions where, oh no, I gotta help this person, that person, that person, and then, you know, your own self is assed out. You gotta stop operating like that. Don't let family or, you know, close loved ones take advantage of you that way. And anyone that is moving like that, you don't need them within your circle, within your span, your arm span, or anything like that. You said, like Shah said, I'm essential. Hey, that's what's up, you know. And that's no knock to people that they try to label as non-essential, whatever. It's just another way how they try to divide the people. Oh, that means your job really is not needed. No, we know they play these games all the time. This is just another level of it. This is something that will go down within the history books, depending on, you know, who gets to, you know, look back on it. Because, you know, depending, a lot of us may not be able to get to look back on this, depending on, you know, how they're moving, how this time is moving nowadays, you know. But the ones that do, hopefully you remember this story, or I won't say story, it'll be a story once you get, you know, so far down the road from it. But right now, we all experiencing in some shape or form or fashion, you know. Be it if it ain't touching you, you might know have some family members and close friends where it's touching them in a different way, you know. Their stomach is starting to reach their spinal cord and things like that. And hopefully, you know, people don't get to making too many desperate moves out here, you know, because I don't see it. A lot of people, oh, it's going to be over next week. It's going to be over next month. I don't see it like that, you know. You just got to take every day by day by day. Don't try to, you know, count too far ahead. and stay stacking and making moves that will keep you in a position where, you and yours is all right. That be okay. Let me see. You said this is the rollout for the New World Order. Get used to a lot of these so called temporary restrictions are going to be permanent, most definitely. Matter of fact, I was gonna go just get a cup of Joe, iced coffee from, one of these known spots that deal out iced coffee. And it was around 6 o'clock. No, it was like 6:15. They said, you know what, we're closed for the day. I'm like, wait, 6:15? You're already closed. I mean, usually these spots stay open late night, but they want to stop people from moving around. It's like, nah, close this. Just like the Walmart be closing down at 8. Like, what, 8 o'clock? Gosh dang it. Oh, we got to restock stores. No, y'all got that mandate, that state mandate, that national emergency mandate. You can't be open. We got to slow the movement of the people. And it's going on all across the country in different ways, shapes, and forms. Yeah, you said this shit just changed every day. Most definitely. It's like we used to be at a moment things would happen in a month's time, almost a year or something like that. Now we're up to the. It's almost like how news used to be. Like news used to come on at 5, 6, and then 10, 11, or depending on what region of the country you are, and those will be the only times you see it, and in the morning or something like that. Now you get up to the date about news up to the moment. It's not we got to wait till this particular time. So that's how all this information is hitting us. Like we'll wake up tomorrow, it'll be something totally different. Okay, they're doing this over New York. California is saying this. Oh, somewhere in the Midwest is about to do this. Oh, we done heard from. We're gonna hear that every single day, every single moment. So in that case of how we get information, that's why I say if you heard it once, you don't have to keep hearing it again. But stay up on the information just enough to be like, okay, this is what they're saying, this is what they're not saying, but not enough where you're getting triggered by it, because that's what they want you to be, is triggered. You don't want to be triggered by anything. That's almost like saying, you know, people use, the melanist people. They use that word that they used back in the days, the dark days of of slavery and things like that. Well, we already know that's kind of like a trigger word, but just think if it was something else, like, oh, I know how that could get you mad. Like, if this is a regular person, I could say this and get you mad. No, you're trying to trigger me. As long as you peep that someone's trying to trigger you, as long as someone ain't putting their hands on you, I ain't tripping. But you cross the line once you put your hands on me, or maybe a defenseless little kid or something, or in your family, or older person, then that's something else. But triggering me when I know I'll come out on the top as being the victorious one, no, I'm straight. Tony Red, what's going on? The top, you said, what's the topic? Misinformation, how it kind of filters through the melanated community, how they like to tell us certain things and, have us believe it, even if it's someone that has melanin pigmentation as yourself. They try to sell you on something and try to get you to buy into something that's, essentially false, non-useful, non-beneficial. Matter of fact, it'll benefit only a small few if it's about, keep, pumping old information that was probably useful in the 70s and the 80s. But, we're in the 2020s, all those, think about it like this. If you use all the information from those black exploitation books that were wrote back in the day, now, yeah, you're gonna have a long stay behind the wall. But from viewing it from like, oh, this is the kind of entertainment purposes, okay, look at it from that. But to put that kind of stuff in the actual play, and if you're hearing it from people that actually, they may have actually made moves and doing things like that. But if they're still trying to put it in a position where, oh, you can use all that same information and you come out victorious, they a goddamn lie. And I would love to debate anybody that's from that generation and say, okay, you can use this right now. You can. No, you cannot. It's not beneficial. Not in the sense of, how everything was going verbatim from that time period. Everything, think about it. The time changes. We living in some changing times. Since when, Targets and Walmart's closing at some 8 o'clock all across the country. We haven't even seen nothing like that. But we're living it right now. Yeah, Bedrock game, Bedrock, that Fred Flintstone stuff that's not relevant now. And you always hear one of them old dinosaurs talk, oh, yeah, these youngsters don't know what they talking about. The youngsters know what they talking about because they live in it. I'm talking about the ones that's actually making moves and making plays today. We ain't talking about yesterday's scores. Oh, yes, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did this back. We ain't in them times. Those times is way over with. Magic was doing this. We're not in them. We're not even in Michael Jordan times. That those different times, yeah, they're there for a reason. It's nostalgia, but it's not active in today. That'd be like, okay, oh yeah, Kareem is still alive. What do you think if they put him on the court with one of these young runners that's doing whatever they're doing in the NBA now, LeBron or somebody that's plays his position? He would get ran. You know that. But for respect, they're not going to do that because like, yeah, he's a legend in the game. But if it was actual, okay, let's go toe to toe where you're at right now. You still talk a good game, but actually putting it to pavement, you'll be sadly mistaken, and you'll look bad out here. Evolve or dissolve? Most definitely, most definitely. A lot of people. What think about like a lot of those, they gonna got in a position where they can't do things no more. So it's almost like you become typecast. So they're playing off of the typecast. Like, well, yes, and I was doing this. Yes, if you was to write a book about the past, yeah, people might like to look at it from that aspect, but not from okay, well now this is what I would do. Because to me, even as a coach, if you're not staying up with what's going on now, it's still not useful. You're gonna be running. It's like having an old playbook, and you got new players, but you're not adjusting the playbook for how they're playing today. You're adjusting it for okay, this is how they were playing back then. Yeah, you can use some of those plays, but you can't use them verbatim. Like, okay, yeah, I got the playbook right from 76 when they were doing this and they won a championship. That ain't gonna guarantee you gonna win the game. It ain't. You got to be able to run audibles. A lot of people don't want to run audibles because that's mean you're changing the play right on the fly. Let me see. Yeah, 70s is definitely gone. You said if we don't adapt, we be losing most definitely. But now, when I say adapt, you don't have to adapt to sucker shit either. I mean, you could actually use sucker shit as a tool. Like, okay, they moving like this, they're moving like that. I'm definitely not moving like this, but how can I get around these blockades that they're running with that shit? You got to be a strategizer when it comes to things like that. Use strategy with everything. If it's something that you see, oh, this is some weak garbage that I could see through. Hey, just let a lot of situations play it out. As long as it's not harming you, just say okay. Let them play their hand. You know, oh, they don't played all their cards out. Now I'm about to lay down my cards. They ain't gonna know what to do. So a lot of situations you just gotta kind of let them play out. Especially a lot of people that's itching and dying to show their hands. All you gotta do is play the hype man. Like, yeah, really, really, yeah, and this, and they're playing their hand. You played your whole cards out. Now I know how to, maneuver around you. It ain't even so much where it's like you're trying to impress someone, but just enough where they're out the way and not causing you no issues. Because you don't want to play yourself in a position where you're reacting off of whatever they're doing. You just want to move in a way where, I don't want too many complications. But yeah, just think about it like this. This is how I look at it. this is what helps me. I watch a lot of different people. Just think about it like this. Like news media outlets, you got Fox, you got ABC, you got NBC, you got CBS. Now they're all competitors, right? But each one watches each other. And how I look at it, how they watch each other is like, okay, they're speaking about this. We're gonna do a story about that, but we're gonna attack it in a way that we're gonna speak on a part that they're not speaking on. So the people will want to watch us for this reason. We're all in the news and the news media. So essentially, as a person, you want to look at it. Okay, I may be speaking on this or carrying out my life this certain way. This other brother, he may do it too. I'm not going to do exactly what he does because we're kind of on the same medium. But I'm gonna speak from a aspect that they're not speaking from. That's to me how you prosper in whatever craft you're doing. If you're a photographer, if you like detailing cars, if you build motorcycles, if you whatever you may do, you got to attack it from, okay, yeah, he may do a lot of nice pinstripes on his bikes, but I might do some wraps on my bike with metallic wraps and things like that, and throw some different kind of style mags when he's doing spokes, or they do a lot of leather stitchings when it comes around their seats and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways you can attack things, and whatever is your strong point, work on that, and whatever may be a weak point, you might want to work on that a lot more than the strong point, because you got the strong point essentially mastered. But the things that you might be a little weak in. Just like think about it, if you're lifting weights. Well, a lot of people know how to put up weights. They lift certain things, do curls. But a lot of people forget leg day, and people don't like leg day because it's like, man, my legs be aching and that take a lot out of me. But you can't just be upper body built up and then your legs is looking like olive oil or something like that. So you got to kind of well round it, and start slow in areas that you may have issues in, shall I say. Okay, Calais J. Just, you said, so is watching and stalking the same thing? I would say it's not, cause like, okay, like I said, you watch other people that do the same thing you do. You could watch and be like, okay, they said this, you don't really feel no kind of way. But to me, it's people that stalk, and they're people that are triggered. So say if someone says something, they're becoming triggered by that. So it's like, okay, I gotta watch every single thing they're doing, to see if they're trying to say something, whatever. They may not even be talking about a person, but they're so triggered and so caught up with, whatever the person is doing. Like, oh, he done bought a new Cadillac. I've been wanting a new Cadillac. Okay, excuse me, he's taking the trips over here. I could be doing that. Those are to me like a stalker. But a person that's watching is like, you watching the game, or a football game. Oh yeah, he's winning. That's good. You got someone that's appreciative. But then you got those other ones that's watching. What they call them, fans. That's why I don't never, like, if I appreciate someone's work, I say I appreciate your work. I don't be like, when it comes to celebrities, I'm a fan, because a fan is a fanatic. That almost goes into, a crazy stalker and things like that. No, matter of fact, what's that older movie with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes, The Fan, when Wesley Snipes a baseball player, and Robert De Niro is essentially a fan, a fanatic of him. That's a good example right there. Matter of fact, I'm quite sure if you could go on to any, I don't know if it's on Netflix, but it's probably on iTunes or whatever you get your where you watch your movies at. If you got that old movie somewhere on DVD, pull it out, The Fan. That'll break it down right there, what's acceptable and what's not. Yeah, it's most definitely pocket watching. It's like, matter of fact, I was having this conversation with Famo. It was he said he was downtown, and this was years ago, and he ran into someone that he knew, And there's like, oh man, you got a couple of dollars, I need a couple of dollars. He's like, nah, I don't really got it right now. But he's like, I'm about to head over here to, grab me something to eat. And dude was like, well, what you going to grab? He's like, well, I'm about to, just grab me, some little gyro stuff to eat. And he's like, well, this only costs this much. I'm like, hold up. So you trying to count my pocket to see if I have anything left over to give you? No, that ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. You gonna kind of cross the line with me right there doing that. But it's people that do that, or you know, like you said, you don't got this new car or something like that, and you don't owe nobody nothing. You don't owe nobody explanations or anything. When you're doing you and you're handling your own business, you don't owe nobody no explanations. But you have those people, even family members. See, family think they could get away with it the most. They'll be like, oh, I see you doing this. You must got some spare money to do that. Well, usually most people from the street ain't gonna do that because it could get ugly when you're challenging someone. But family think they could get, oh, family, we just family. I'm just messing with you. They want to play it off like that once you start getting concerned about them, trying to count your pockets essentially. But you got to check them too. But yeah, it's so many different ways. To me, it's like we experience so many things, and a lot of people discount. Like I was talking with an older cousin of mine, and he was like, "Man, well, Rick, how you get up on here and you be saying what you saying?" Unlocking it in a way where we can convey it to the people where like what, I can relate to that. I done went through something like that. My older cousin went through something like that. You know, we all got a story. We all got some kind of tale, even if it ain't our tale. It could be a uncle of yours that done told you something that is relatable, and it starts making sense once you start having a conversation with somebody. So everything resonates. It just, we don't know when it will. It's like we got, think about, you have how can I say, you got a leather coat or something, a nice Davuki leather coat back from the 90s or something. It's like I can't really do nothing with it now. It ain't really in fashion right now, but then it comes back around, and then somebody may want to buy it. You may have been wanting to sell it, but it wasn't really nobody really wanting nothing like that. But you may just bring it up in a conversation. Yeah, I remember I picked up this, Davuki from back in the day when, they was really popping, or I had a wool leather coat just like a Davuki. Like, oh, really, man? I pay you this much money. Like, wait, this is some unexpected money coming in right now. I'll slang it, if it ain't got that much sentimental value to you. So, I mean, we never know when something is going to be beneficial, or you get to talking with someone about a car or something like that. Oh man, my uncle was trying to slang this old Cadillac from back in the day. Let me go holler at him, and it puts you in a position to, get something that you want. It's like, speak what you really want into the universe and make it appear. When you get to talking all that negative and all that, that'll appear too, but I'm quite sure you don't want any of that up here. So, put your best foot forward, speak what you really want into existence. Don't count nobody else's pockets. Try to live your best life every day, every moment. You got to see, in this day and age now, you got to live within every moment. Appreciate even the small things. To wake up, you got little kids and you're waking up to them and trying to put them on the best path that you could put them on. Hey, always say something positive to them. Hey, if you on a bad note with your girl or whatever, things like that, try to handle that out of the home. From my grandpa, he put me up on it. Say, you know what? If you ever had an argument with your woman, don't do the making up in the house. Did go into a park. If it was a restaurant or something, they ain't open now, but go to a restaurant like, hey, how I came at you, I was wrong, or vice versa. They, have them be able to voice, yeah, I was wrong for saying whatever, but not in the home spot, because it's like, once you try to do all, it's like what they say, you don't shit where you eat. It just don't coincide like that. So you want to be out wherever, even if it's taking a drive during the hours of free range moving around and things like that. Hey, work it out like that. Hey, if you got a partner that y'all wasn't seeing eye to eye, and they're bright enough and smart enough to have a level head at some point, hey, piece that out. And if you can't piece it out, hey, Make sure you keep your distance away from them. What they say, practice social distancing. Well, practice social distancing from people that is no longer seeing eye to eye, and you don't have to bring up their name and hate or anything like that. Just hey, keep your distance, keep your peace within. With that being said, we're 75 minutes in. If nobody has anything else to add, I will cut out. Hey, like I always said, I've included the Patreon of Tuku.com. Become a supporter of the Patreon. There'll be a lot of different content over there. I was thinking about starting something a little bit different over on the Patreon that will be on a tiller scale, that it will be beneficial to people that's thinking about, certain ways that they make moves, and if the moves that they're making are beneficial. But that would only be available on that particular form. I haven't came up with it yet, but I've been kicking it around, getting ideas, and as soon as I have it readily available, I might do a preview on YouTube, but then over there it'll actually be available where you can actually subscribe and become a supporter of those particular levels of what I'm speaking on. With that being said, I appreciate everyone that's came in and lended their conversation, lended their statements. Hey, I'll try to do this again tomorrow night. Hopefully everyone has a prosperous night tonight, and I'll holla at you.